Well, good afternoon. I'm going to be running a little late on this project, but I'm going to be planting some garlic using my new garlic planter. And I'm just in the process of conditioning my bed with some steer manure and chicken manure compost. And we're going to see how it does. We don't get really cold winters here in Western Washington, so usually I plant my garlic on Halloween. It's, I think, the 5th or 6th of December right now, and work's been so busy that I just haven't been able to get out here and plant my garlic. So today's the first day off in like 15 days, not counting Thanksgiving. So I slept in, I rested, now I'm out here and I'm gonna plant some garlic, and we'll see how my new planter works. If it's a go or if it's a failure, we'll see. So I'll show you the beds once I've got them all conditioned, and then we'll start the planting process, and I'll show you how we're gonna do that. All right, so if you can see, well, there's Augie, there's my boy. He can't stay out of anything. Okay, back to the garden. So that one I've already topped off with the compost. This is how low it was here. These planter beds are 4 by 8. And the only thing I paid for on these was the screws. The plywood and the 2x4s were all reclaimed, or I got for free. So they turned out pretty good. See, he wants to be a gardener. But when I was building them, I decided it was going to be too expensive to fill them with completely with soil. So they are what's called hugelkultured. So in the bottom is a lot of old wood and sticks and stumps and stuff that I threw in there, and then filled over the top with dirt. They're sinking because the wood's breaking down. I have 1 or 2 that don't sink as much because their wood's already broke down. This one's kind of a newer one. It was done before the first 2, so. But every year I have to top it off with some compost, and makes for pretty good gardening. I don't have to bend over. They're almost waist high, so. For an old guy, it keeps him from having to get on his knees and weed. All right, so I have both sides of the beds are leveled off, and compost is in there. Now I'm going to test out my invention. This is a garlic planter. All those are set at 3-inch on center apart and staggered, so they're not right next to each other and on the alternate rows, so that I can keep my rows centered. So I don't have a tripod, and so I'm gonna put it down and show you how I place it, and then I'll work it in and show you what the result is once it's done. The theory was that I would drive this thing down the 3 inches deep, and then I could just drop my garlic in there. As I said in the video, that when I was making it, probably should have went with 3/4 inch dowels because there's just too much surface on the face of these dowels to let me drive it in, but it does mark well-spaced holes, so I'm just gonna put out the garlic in there, and then I'll push them down in the 3 inches that I need them. So it kind of worked, kind of didn't, but it was my first idea. I'll perfect it over the summer and we'll see what we can do. But you can see it just sits on top of the dirt, and when I press on it, it doesn't go down. So either I need to sharpen the ends, or I need 3/4 inch dowels farther apart, maybe 4 inches apart, give them less surface, and go from there. So I'm gonna get this planted. This is music garlic. Look at the size of that head. There's like 6 cloves on there. And I kept the biggest heads for planting. And there's some really nice big heads in here. So I'm gonna get them planted. I may have to go in and get some other heads and just take the bigger cloves out of them to finish this off. Because it's gonna be like 100 and some, probably about 100 per side. So I'm gonna do music garlic over here, and I'm doing the inchlium garlic over here. I'll show you when it's done. Well, I got the music garlic planted. I was able to keep it spaced nice. So the planter was a success in the fact that it did what I wanted to as far as keeping the rows straight and evenly spaced, but it didn't make the holes all the way down. So back to the drawing board on that. But the music garlic is planted. I'm gonna go inside and grab some of the inchlium garlic and get this other side planted, and then put some mulch over the top and put it to bed for the winter. Okay, so the inchlium garlic is planted. I think there's probably right around 75 heads gonna be in each side. There's a little bit of space right here. I'll put some onions in, a little bit of space off the back side. I'll put onions in the spring. But we'll check on this in probably late February. I'm gonna top it off with leaf mulch now, and then put some chicken wire over the top of it so the squirrels and my dog doesn't get into it. Speaking of which, there's both of them right there. Squirrel's right there, and the dog was chasing the squirrel. Well, I put it to bed. I got chicken wire over the top of the leaf mulch, and that'll keep the wind from blowing, keep that squirrel and Augie out of it, and if the chickens get out, they won't be able to scratch in there either. So we'll check on it in February-ish, probably the end of February. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching this far, and I appreciate it. Please give me a thumbs up and a like and a share, and subscribe. And if you didn't like it, share it with somebody you didn't like. Thanks for watching. See you in the outdoors. Thanks.